Yo, I'm Gunnar and I'm developing a game in solo. And this month I officially started working on environment art. Finally. Unfortunately, I won't have much to show for this recap as I'm mostly learning and figuring out workflow. The goal for March was to figure out how to approach the environment art pipeline. My first major task would be to dress the blocky I did for the combat area, which is a linear path through canyons and mountainous plateau in an open map. In terms of art direction, I admit I lean on the colorful side of things and I usually prefer vibrant and bold art style rather than gritty and darker ones. And for the first landscape, I want to push the idea to see what it could mean in terms of environment. When I think about the Silk Road, what comes in mind first is the rocky, desertic and dusty landscape cut by riverbed where the lush vegetation grows. There's dominance of warm color like red, orange or yellow. The vegetation itself can have vivid colors like the leaves of birch tree that can look like gold. And to push things up a notch and to add fantasy to this, I'm also looking at those rainbow mountains formation that can be found at Zhengye Tangxia in China. I feel like it could be an interesting feature that would make this landscape feel unique and a bit surreal. The more I was working on art direction, the more the movie Curse of the Golden Flower creeped up into my mind because of its crazy color palette dominated by gold. I've always appreciated the director work, especially its way to handle colors. So that's the art direction I'm going for, and then next step is to figure out the proper technical pipeline. I need to find a good balance between handcrafted work and procedural generation so I can create as much environment I can, the more detailed and closest to my vision as possible. For this reason, and since I'm becoming more and more comfortable with it, I chose to go with Houdini for landscape. One of the most interesting features of Houdini is its plugin for Unreal that bring the powerful procedural tools directly into the game engine. So, by using Houdini, I can walk a landscape using all of its erosion features, bring it into Unreal in one click, generate trees and props based on geological features like slope, height, or even based on the location of erosion debris and sediments, and everything is non-destructible, meaning after all of this, I can still move a mountain or carve a path and let it regenerate everything without me having to move props manually or repaint material masks. I have also found out I can even automatically generate mesh geometry for things like cliff, although it can have some limitation and sometimes looks a bit too much computer generated. So for when I need more unique and detailed props, I look to Quixel Megascan, which is a library of very high quality scan assets. But of course, since these are assets scanned from real life, it's too realistic and can't be used as is. The reflection here is to see if I can't find a way to use this as a base, where I could apply a treatment that could bring it closer to the style I'm looking for, while keeping a lot of the detail so that I can reduce the amount of work for each asset. By the way, if you're digging those kind of videos and want to support me, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It's not much and it helps me a lot. And that's where I am now. Starting from this and using Houdini, I'm smoothing the mesh while sharpening the edges to get a chiseled look. I enjoy the look of it, it's still a highly detailed asset, but I'm getting away from the realistic rendering. And it'll be even more obvious with stylized material applied to it. And even if there is some areas where the detail looks too uniform and expected, I can fix it manually and it'll take me way less time than if I did the whole asset by hand from scratch. But obviously, I don't want to rely only on libraries as it will get quickly too generic. So I need also to find a good workflow to create custom props that fits well with others. It would be really bad if we can notice which assets has been made by hands and which one are scanned props that has been reworked. So the idea would be to use the stylized mesh I already have, and from it I would generate a bunch of alpha brushes by baking some hand-picked region into a texture map. I can then use those brushes when I'm sculpting by hands to make sure the style is always fitting. And that's all I have to show. Next month I'll try to apply all these techniques to make the first pass of the first environment, so make sure to come back here regularly to see how it went. Thank you for your support and see you soon. Bye.